watching the Avengers, man. Emma Peel, wow. That's pretty amazing. And of course, besides those actors, we have a lot of others who we didn't get to include in the little preview reel for you, but we're going to have an incredible cast this year, and I think we were already the biggest cast in television, and we've just grown bigger. So clearly, I have to start killing some of these characters more quickly to make room for the new ones. But so let me bring out some of our panelists and introduce you today here. There are many people who produced the show that you see every week on HBO. Not all of them are on camera. Some of them do their work behind the camera, but their contributions are, immense, and without them, the show would not exist. One of them is our executive producer, Carolyn Strauss. Next, of course, we have the heir to Winterfell. Robb Stark. And of course, the Lady of Winterfell, his mother, who keeps him in line and tells him who he should and should not kill and or marry. Michelle Fairley. And yet, those of you who have watched the show know that the Starks have actually lost Winterfell, so the current Prince of Winterfell, proper heir to the Iron Islands, former ward of Eddard Stark, and currently not in good graces with the House of the Direwolf, the heir to Pike, Theon Greyjoy, Alfie Allen. Then, north of the wall, the fair lady who has bringing our Jon Snow over to the wild side of the universe here, our Ygritte, the lovely Rose Leslie. Last but certainly not least, the only member of last year's Game of Thrones panel courageous enough to return once again to face you in San Diego, the Khaleesi of the Dothraki, the right-born heir of House Targaryen, So, I'd like to start at the beginning with Carolyn.
Thank you, George.
Carolyn was part of HBO before there even was a Game of Thrones. And, in fact, was there when David and Dan first came in to pitch this crazy idea of doing an epic fantasy series on a network better known for The Sopranos and more realistic dramas. Can you tell us a little of the background about what it was like and how this show ever got on the air to begin with?
You mean when two scraggly youngsters came in?
That's right.
Well, apparently you trusted them with your material.
I did. I can't think why, but...
And they came in and they plunked a couple of really heavy books down on the conference room table. And David was a pretty well-known screenwriter. And so he brought some weight in with him and he said, this is a really fascinating story. And he began to tell me the story. And I, who am not, I would say, ardent fantasy reader, was kind of intrigued by it. And I said, well, it's not our usual fare, but what it did sound like to me was a genre buster. And by that I mean it's something that has the kind of pillars and posts of a genre, but takes it in an entirely different kind of direction, like The Wire would do with a cop drama. And that is an HBO show. And so I said, go write a script, and they wrote a script, and it came back exactly that. And HBO went through some changes, but the script stayed great. And after a long decision-making process, everybody decided, yeah, let's make this script because it's great. And they put a lot of money and a lot of support behind it, and so we've got Game of Thrones.
And the rest is history, and I hope for many more years to come. One of the things that distinguishes Game of Thrones, I think, and of course the books that I've written, is gray characters. It's not a simple world of heroes and villains. Characters have flaws, and I don't think any character in the whole opus is as gray as Theon Greyjoy, who became a very dark shade of gray this season. How do you like playing? Would you rather play a more heroic character? Do you like playing is Theon a villain in your mind? Is he a flawed human being? How do you see Theon?
No, I wouldn't say in my mind he's a villain. He's just kind of misguided. He's got issues, but you know, I can relate to that. So it's cool, man. I like you said, you know, everyone's sort of flawed in it, so it's cool. I think sort of, you know, darker, more complex characters are more interesting to play than sort of straightforward sort of heroes. But I don't think there is any sort of straightforward heroes even in Game of Thrones. So sorry, I'm talking to George. I should be talking to you, really, shouldn't I? But yeah, it's been great to play, and I'm just happy to be part of it. So it's good.
Now, I have noticed that Theon, as in the books, does have a healthy libido. You've had sex scenes with Roz, the red-headed whore.
I have.
The captain's daughter, Osha, the wildling.
Yeah.
Almost with your sister.
Yeah.
All thanks to things I wrote. And have I gotten even a box of chocolates?
They're coming. They're in the post, George. They're in the post.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's it like doing all those sex scenes?
It was fine. It was good. You know, I enjoyed it. It was good. It was. I wanted to kind of, you know, get into shape for it anyway, because I wanted to feel like a warrior. So it was kind of cool doing that. But it was great. You know, they kind of. I think the sex scenes which you do see in it are kind of with prostitutes. So he's kind of paying for it. So it's not like he's a stud muffin in the Game of Thrones world. No, I enjoyed it, man. It was good. I just, yeah, it was great. I just, like I said, just got into shape for it, and it was all good. I hope it came out well. I think it came out well.
Yeah.
They seem to have liked it, so...
Pardon?
So far, so good?
So far, so good.
So, Richard, you've done a sex scene too this season. How was that, dude? Would you rather do the sex or the violence?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. I think I'd rather do the violence. I get more of a kick out of that than standing on a quite cold set in Ireland with all my clothes off. It's yeah, swinging a sword's a bit more fun. I'll say that now.
Now, you may not know that Richard, in addition to being Robb Stark, is also the best-dressed man in Scotland. So I'm sure you can find many useful sartorial hints here at Comic-Con from some of the costumes that folks are wearing that the Scots probably don't even know about. Capes, you know, it would go well with kilts and stuff like that.
Capes.
Yeah, capes, yeah. Michelle, your arc this season has gotten darker and darker. You're dealing with a lot of very serious stuff going on here. Murders taking place in front of you. The loss of your home and estrangement from your children. Catelyn is doing some very radical things. I'd be interested in knowing, as an actress, how you approach difficult material like that, and the kind of toll that it affects. Does doing such dark stuff impact on you as an actress?
No, you get your script. The way I approach it, I don't actually know how I work. You analyze it in that respect, but your script is your Bible. So you just work and work and work and read and read and read and read. And then you introduce other actors and directors, and the set and the costume. And for me personally, I love the big emotional stuff. So it's not a chore. I love to get myself really involved in it, and that makes it all the more enjoyable to play, so that you forget that you're actually on a set and that you're an actor. You just totally have to believe that you are that person and just get stuck into it.
Rose, you're the new kid on the block here.
I am.
Joining a set and a show already established, and the first thing they did was send you off to Iceland.
I know. Yeah, but it was amazing. It was the most beautiful, beautiful country. So, yeah.
Colder than Scotland, you were telling me before.
A lot colder than Scotland. And actually, I don't think anything would be colder than Scotland. But no, Iceland takes a biscuit. Yeah.
Rose is actually the only member of our cast to actually been born and raised in a castle.
Yes. Yes.
So tell us about your castle.
But it's definitely not Winterfell. Definitely not that. But no, that is home for me. Yes, up in Aberdeenshire, and yeah, that is where I was brought up. And it was cold, and it's kind of drafty and cranky, but no, it's home. So
is there a dungeon?
There is. There is. We used to lock, like us, me and my siblings used to scare each other by locking ourselves in the dungeon. It's horrible. Hide and seek would last for days. Stuck in a dungeon. It's not great.
But as I understand it, you don't inherit the castle because you have an elder sibling.
Oh no, yeah, no, that goes to my big brother. Yeah, he gets that burden.
But if something should happen to those siblings,
you take care of that for me. That would be fantastic.
Maybe we should shoot some scenes at your castle, a big location. So, Amelia. You were here last year. You're the only one who was bold enough to come back. We scared off the rest of them.
I know.
And you said last year that your life had not changed because no one recognized you without your Danny tresses when you walked in the street. Is this still true a year later?
It's kind of moved on a little bit. Yes, a little bit.
A little bit?
A little bit. I still, yeah.
Occasional person recognizes you?
Yes, definitely. But when it happens, it really happens.
Okay. Like what? Where you get stopped at airports or something?
No stopping at airports. But I was in a department store, and I was just in the lift, and the lift doors opened, and this woman kind of looked at me and did a double take and just said, "Khaleesi." So yeah, that's the kind of epicness, which is nice. I like it.
I don't suppose you've dared to walk the floor of Comic-Con yet.
Not yet.
See if they know you here.
Will you be nice?
Oh, you will? Okay. Okay. Well,
Now I'm a little scared.
I'm scared to walk the Florida Comic Con these days. Carolyn, some of the production issues. I think, are we the only show in the history of television to be shooting simultaneously in 4 different countries?
I don't know for sure because my encyclopedic knowledge